Alright, so we're checking out another BackMarket refurbished phone, and if you guys don't know what BackMarket is, they sell refurbished iPhones and Android phones. And this is the fourth one in the series that I've done in terms of reviewing phones from this company. I also do reviews on ones from Amazon Renewed as well, so I have a playlist down in the video description. You can check out some of the older ones I've done. But thanks to viewers that have purchased phones from BackMarket, I'm able to get more phones through those referrals. And if you guys are wondering about that, if you do end up buying a phone through my link down in the description and use my discount code, you get $25 off of your purchase. And then some of that goes towards my account, and then I use that toward those proceeds for buying additional phones for reviewing in the future. And again, I'll ask you guys, if there's something you want to see in the future, let me know. A specific model, for example, and I'll try and make that happen in sometime down the road. Now, for this one, this is the Samsung S22, the entry-level one, and I will do a long-term review of this one down the road. If you're wondering what an S22 is like in 2025, I'll do a video on that one later, but today is just going to see what kind of condition it is in. And this one here is the last condition that I have not touched yet. It's just the premium condition. So if you recall, the first video I did was on the Z Fold 4 in fair condition, and that one was in kind of rough shape. I did end up returning that one. I mean, there was nothing wrong with the phone. It functioned fine. It just cosmetically was rather beat up with a lot of scratches and stuff, which is, I guess, subjective as to whether or not it qualified for the fair condition under their description. I thought it was a bit rough, so I did end up returning and got my money back, so no big deal there. The second one I reviewed was the fair condition, the good condition, which was the Pixel 5. So again, fair is the lowest, and then good is the next highest, which has basically should be a little bit better. And I did a video on that one. Again, I'll link all these videos down in the description in case you missed those, so you can see what a good condition phone looks like in that video. And again, condition is a little bit subjective based on who refurbishes the phone, so you may see some variability in how they look. The last video I did was on the Pixel 4a. It was supposed to be in excellent condition, and for the most part it was in pretty good condition, with one small little defect in the corner you'll see in that video. Perhaps something was missed, but I actually almost missed it myself. But it was in a very good condition. I would say, yeah, excellent condition probably, but very good is more my opinion on that one. And then this one here is the premium condition. This is the top level. Basically, the phone should be pretty much flawless, like no scratches, almost brand new. And that's what we're going to see if we're going to get that in this video. All right, so as usual, it just comes in a pretty nondescript box. And yeah, just see what it is. S22 5G Phantom White. It is the unlocked version and 128 gigabytes. And phone is in some plastic and some basic stuff. Sometimes you get this stuff, sometimes you don't. Usually you get the SIM ejector tool most of the time. And not sure, this is the holder for the USB-C cable. I'm not sure if this is OEM or not. Looks all right. All right, so let's see what kind of phone we got here. They did put a screen protector on here, and looks pretty good on the edges. Usually the edges on these older phones, they tend to show pretty much any kind of issue. It's a little bit dirty. Yeah, it's not flawless. That's supposed to be like pretty much flawless, but I mean, this surface, this glossy surface, is very prone to getting scratches very easily, even if it was inside of a case. But I don't see any dents or dings. There's maybe I think I see some dirt there. I think it needs to be cleaned, but I don't see any damage, and that's what I'm mostly looking for here. USB-C port looks pretty good. Gonna have to peel this off in a second here. Look at the screen, look at the back here. Look, they put some tape here over the cameras. Alright, so this is not good. they obviously tried to protect the cameras, but they left a bunch of residue here. So I'm gonna have to use some isopropyl alcohol to clean that off, and then the glass back here doesn't have any of that sticky residue. So I'm probably gonna have to clean this. It's unfortunate, but yeah, there's no damage to the back. Very, very perfect condition. All right, time to peel off the screen protector. That was very satisfying. And I don't see any flaws on the screen. Again, I'm gonna clean this with some alcohol. And some residue was left over from the screen protector. But I don't see any scratches, so yeah, I would say it's fair to say this is a premium condition, top of the line. For I think this is now, what is it, 2025? So it's a 3-year-old phone. I'm not sure how much it's been used. All right, let me just see if it's got any charge. Let's turn it on. Yep, it's got some charge. All right, so it looks like we need to charge the battery. It's probably been sitting in storage for some time, and it needs to be set up. And I'm gonna wipe this off with some alcohol and give it another run through, and I'll be right back. All right, so I went ahead and I just cleaned off the phone with some isopropyl alcohol and re-examined it, and basically the screen is completely flawless. There was some residue from that screen protector they put on. It was like kind of sticky material, but once I cleaned it with some alcohol, it's gone. There's no scratches whatsoever, no swirl marks. Pretty sure that whoever previously owned this probably had a screen protector on here on day one. And the other way you can tell is the oleophobic coating on the screen itself looks like it's pretty much intact, like it's ever been used, which it's very, very smooth and doesn't show a lot of fingerprints when you touch it. So that's good. I think this was in some kind of a case. The back is also flawless. It's got this sort of matte texture. Couldn't see any scratches at all. I did remove all that residue from that sticker that was protecting the camera lenses. Now, you're not going to be able to see this. I might put some macro photos up here. The only place where there's kind of some dings is on this corner here. Not really sure where that would have come from. Possibly if they had a case on here where this was exposed, because there's no scratches really on the edges here. It's just on the very corner right here. It just looks like it might have been dinged against something, maybe some keys or something. So I imagine I was probably living in some kind of a case where this part of the camera was protruding. But otherwise, as far as I can tell, the phone appears to be completely flawless. There's nothing damaged or dinged. Just that a little bit of this corner right here on this little camera bump that's kind of exposed. But otherwise, it looks like it's fine. The screen looks fine. I'm going to go through and set it up, and then do sort of like a review on this one as to how an S22 performs in 2025. I know one of the big things about the S22 back then when this first came out is that the battery life was not great. I'm going to try and discover that for myself, and I'll let you know. And by the way, I paid $204, I think, for this phone in the premium condition. So top of the line. I'd say it qualifies for the premium condition. Out of all the ones I've tested from BackMarket, this is definitely the best. Now, if you go down to the lowest condition, the fair condition for this model, they're going to run about $50 less, so around $147-ish, $150-ish, somewhere in that range, depending upon which version you get. So obviously the colors are going to have different prices as well. I think the purple one, I think, is the most expensive, and then black is the cheapest, and then white's kind of in between. Also, this is the 128 gigabyte storage version. The 256 gigabyte storage version obviously is going to cost you more. But yeah, I mean, this was basically like a flagship type phone back in 2022, 3 years ago. In terms of the specs, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1. There's tons of reviews on this phone. Obviously out there, so I'm not going to go through all that for you here. But yes, it's a very good phone, and if you don't mind a lot of like cosmetic issues, as long as the phone works, you can't pick this up for about $50 less. I would recommend maybe instead of going with fair, go with either the good or the excellent condition. I would say going for the premium probably is not necessarily worth it. I think at the time when I picked this up, the premium condition was actually cheaper than the excellent condition, and sometimes that happens. Like there might be too many of these in stock, and they lower the price for this particular condition. So it was rated at the time when they refurbished it, and I can tell that the battery is being so low. They probably charged it to like 50 or 60%, and it obviously went down. Sitting in probably some store shelf somewhere for all this time. But I'll link all those other videos down in the description that I mentioned earlier. And again, as I said, there's a $25 discount code. If you do end up purchasing a phone through BackMarket, you do get $25 off using that link and the discount code. And then I use any of the basically affiliate proceeds from those sales towards new phones. So all the money that goes from those sales goes right back into future videos. And do let me know some feedback as to what phones you'd like to see in the future. But that'll do it for this video for now, and I'll have more coverage on the S22 a little bit later on my channel. So be subscribed so you don't miss those videos. And I'll talk to you guys in the next one.